Good evening, Twitch. Good evening, Internet. Good evening to those on YouTube watching after the fact, and good evening to those, hello to those listening on the podcast even, because who knows when you're listening to this. But still, welcome to episode 51 of Malt Magic. 51 being insane and leading into what will be hopefully a very, very interesting anniversary mark next week. And I suppose that's where I start my announcements, as we've been doing some thinking in Malt Magic HQ, and we would like to give back to you, our followers. So as of next week, there will be a couple of giveaways and a new competition starting. So please do be sure to follow along, firstly, engage in the chat, more importantly, and second, join us next week, as there will be some giveaways, some goodies to get your mitts on. So yeah, please come and join us for that. It's hopefully going to be an awesome episode as well. Keep you engaged, keep the players engaged. There should be a lot of fun, some twists and turns, and I'm sure I'll throw some sort of cliffhanger or something in there somewhere, because it's me. Anyway, on to our usual thank yous and shout outs. So to Albo Radio, to Incarnate, to D&D Beyond, Hero Forge, Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop, Tabletop Audio. There's probably some others in there that I miss with the Patreon services that I use. I'm actually going to give a huge shout out to Codewall Press as well and some of their books, because they are awesome and they have really helped me expand the monsters that we can use in this world. So if you want to get something that the players might not have heard of before, they are some great resources. There's the Creature Codexes, there's a Tome of Beasts even, 1 and 2, so go check them out. A huge shout out to Battle Bards as well. We use them for all our sound effects and some of the musical ambiances as well. Really does add the immersion to the game. You've heard me say it every week, but please go use the code Malt Magic, register there, or when you register there, and get yourselves a cheeky discount on some sound effects to use in your own games. Doesn't have to be D&D, could be another tabletop RPG. Whatever you want to do, the sound effects are there. Go check out the social media. We will probably post out some insights around the giveaways and the competition slightly before the episode next week. I'll have a word with our social media master about that one. So yeah, keep your eyes on social media. If you're not already following us on social media, go do so now. Please check out the podcast as well, and I already said hello to everybody in the podcast. But yeah, if you would like to catch up on past episodes, revisit some of your favourite moments, then you don't have to do it on YouTube. It's always there for you, but you can listen to us instead and hear our dulcet tones in your ears. A huge shout out to Tales of Teal'nar as well. There's a couple of new episodes which I still have yet to watch, but I will get through them eventually. There's other D&D shows that may have just finished a certain campaign which I'm now trying to thrash my way through to try and catch up, but we won't go there. And I think that's me for tonight. Very hot, very out of breath already, but we'll get there. So there will be adult language, there will most certainly be adult humour. You have been warned. Let's roll.
Hello.
I mean,
Hello.
straight away, an ego boost for me that me posting on our socials whilst on the toilet counts as me being a social master, and I'm happy about that.
Too much information.
I give kudos where kudos is due.
That is
So,
Malt
yeah,
Masters HQ, my toilet.
There's an insight into the life of our social media master that I'm sure you all enjoyed and wanted. Cheers to that.
Oh, wow.
So
Dear, dear.
let's do a quick lineup. We haven't done it in a couple of weeks, but we might as well do it anyway. I am Matt. I'm obviously, as it says underneath my picture here, I'm the Dungeon Master. Also playing psychic character of Bothrid, all the monsters and all the NPCs.
fellow keeper of a guild card. I am Danny, and I play Ander Hornhaven, your lovable human rogue bard, who is very excited to see where tonight may lead.
I'm Simao. I play Kirik Gravetusk, the party's cleric / fighter. And I'm very, very much looking forward to this one. Should be a good one.
I'm Dave. I play Dargon, the Goliath fighter warlock, and I'm also very interested to see where we're going to go.
Indeed, and because we have hit a bit of a crossroads. Last week we managed to, or I say we, Ander and Bothrid, with the helps of some, or with the aid of some of their friends, managed to resurrect Kirik enough to get him back from the realm of death to then quickly roll over, and with the last of his sort of effort and his strength that he had coming back from death, managed to then resurrect Dargon as well, or raise dead, I believe was the spell. So Dargon is suffering from that particular spell, but is very much alive. The Raven Queen allowing the threads of fate to be woven in such a way to allow the two of you to return, and explaining a few things to Kirik on the way, I think. And so we then had a brief conversation with the Malt Masters, a very brief conversation with the Malt Masters and those in the room, and retired to our home, or our home away from home, or your house in the Malt Masters Keep, or in Glen Tuag. And Bothrid decided to stay up all night, having felt a little bit guilty that he was not with you when two of you passed away, not with you to help defeat the Dark Eladrin and this infernal knight, as we called him. So Bothrid currently has a point of exhaustion. And then I think the rest of the episode was, after some brief internal conversations, was pretty much spent watching Ander and Dargon do some shopping, which is always a fun situation. So you went to visit Mephisto's magical menagerie and saw Mephisto, purveyor of fine goods and magical items. And yeah, bought a few things, traded a few things. And upon exiting, you then met Kirik, who had had his own little jaunt off to the temple, or the temple, and to the annex of the Raven Queen, I'm going to call it. Did a few few things in there which were private to Kirik and to his ongoing tasks, shall we say. And then it looked like Kirik was just about to go into the shop, and that's where we left it. So we begin tonight's episode with you all standing outside of Mephisto's magical menagerie. The summer sun, sort of mid-afternoon at this point. And yeah, and you have come out with your new items. And what would we like to do?
I would like to head into Mephisto's shop.
Okay, so you head into Mephisto's shop as I quickly reconfigure my stream deck to get me the right thing. There we go. So as you enter the shop, Mephisto looks up. Oh, thought you might have been with the boys beforehand, but never mind. What can I do you for, Kirik?
Yeah, that was the plan. Unfortunately, well, I wasn't going to come in, but I actually found something in my bag. We've been traveling, as I'm sure you know, and in our misadventures, I'd say, we found this, and I'll take out a pouch of sand that Ander found in Zapanir's cave, I believe, that he gave to me. I was wondering if you could understand a little bit further of what it does. I don't want to waste it. If it's something that is, well, quite useful, or perhaps something that would give some coin in return.
Well, it's sand. You think it may be magical?
Perhaps it was on a... Well, I have reason to believe it was somewhere where only magical items would be. A hoard of
Interesting.
sorts.
A hoard?
Yes.
Was there anything left?
I'm Yeah, I was with Ender, so not a lot left once he's gone through.
Very well. If you permit me just a few seconds, I'll...
Of course.
Well, I'll see what I can do. And he sort of takes this dust and looks at it as I just close a program down, which is bonging my ear, so forgive me for just a second. Holds this bag of dust, looks in it, takes it in one hand, and then sort of speaks a spell over the top of it. And you can see his sort of fingers begin to sparkle a little bit. And he opens his eyes and looks. Well, it's certainly does look like fine sand, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
This is quite interesting. You in the mind to sell?
Well, what is it?
Yes, certainly not as gullible as your friends. Well, let's just say if you throw this dust into the air, it can help one become unseen for a number of minutes. It looks like you have enough in there for maybe 2 uses. Amongst the common folk, if you like, they would call it the dust of disappearance.
And how much would you be willing to buy this item for?
Well, it's not necessarily rare. It's fairly easy to make, but it's certainly something worth having. So I would give you... let me think. Let me just go check to see if I've got some already. That may change the price. And he sort of disappears off for a minute, and you can hear him rustling around in the background somewhere. And then he comes back. Nope. Definitely don't have any left. So, I'll give you 400 gold pieces for it.
If you had any... You see, I've got this hammer. I'm not really the hitting people with it kind of person. So if I'm looking to somewhat swap for something a little bit more my style. If you had something that, I don't know, some sort of staff that allowed, perhaps had some magical properties to it, I would be willing to trade you the sand or the dust for it.
Staff, you say? And he does sort of stroke his beard exactly like I've done there. Not that there's much of one here, but never mind. Anything particularly would like this staff to do? I could potentially make it or acquire it for you.
I'm always looking for extra spells, if you have.
Extra spells? Any types of spells in particular?
I'll leave that at your discretion.
Very well. I will, I'll make some inquiries. And we can certainly trade. I think for what you're asking for, there will probably still need to be some exchange of coin, but I'm sure you understand that.
That's all right. Well, thank you very much. And once you know, just give us a holler.
I will send word.
Thank you. I'll turn around and leave, taking my dust.
Kirik, before you go.
Yes.
It's nice to see you back among the living. Rumours spread very quickly. And those boys need you.
It's nice to be back.
Good stuff. I will, I'll send word.
Very well. and I'll head back to the house.
Okay. The rest of the party, while Kirik is inside Mephisto's, what are we doing?
I was actually going to wait for him.
Yeah, I'm going to wait outside the door.
So you both, well, all three of you, just wait outside, and yeah, Kirik exits.
What did you buy? What did you buy? What did you buy?
I didn't buy anything. I simply asked. You remember that sand you found in Zapania's cave?
Definitely not.
Well, you did, but it's alright. You lost your mind since then, so it's well, I lost my
it's
mind.
probably
I died
distracted
as well.
by all of the jewels, to be honest.
Yeah,
That is also true.
Which I did lose.
Yeah, to be fair, it was sand, and he loves coin. Sand, coin.
I mean, unless that sand became a diamond, I'm not bothered.
Unfortunately, not. But it does help. Apparently, one to turn invisible for a little bit.
And you threw it away, Ender.
I've got my visit cloak. I knew what it was.
Yeah,
all
the
along,
cloak.
but I just didn't
Oh,
have the
yeah.
motions to-
Oh, you did you? Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
you did, yeah.
So, what now? What is our plan?
I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind sticking around for a couple of days, resting up. We've been through hell, literally.
You look like hell.
Thank you. Hey, what?
You're welcome.
And
You've got a different shade of grey, and it's not attractive.
I'm trying to work my head around that. Right. A couple of days rest. And then I suppose no harm in having another more in-depth chat with the Malt Masters. But I
really
am keen to get Vraco home and get on our way.
Yeah, there's certainly a promise you need to keep, but I'm also anxious to learn, because nobody seems to have addressed the elephant in the room that we've been gone for months. I mean, the seasons have changed. There must be stuff that we need to be filled in on. Something must have happened.
Yeah.
It's Nialin. I'm surprised it hasn't collapsed into the sea yet.
We also left just as his lordship buggered off with that sword. If we've been gone a couple of months, he's a long gone. And no idea. Kirik, while I remember, you can't do anything as your speciality to keep Vraco's body. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Not smelly.
That's what. Okay, for me to take him back.
Yes, of course. I will. I've already done that.
I think you already did, but
yeah, I've already done that. Yeah,
he cast.
It's got 10 days, I think. It should still be quite alright. But if we plan on staying here a little bit longer, I will have to cast it again. But there is no problem.
I just need a few days.
Probably got about 8 days left on that spell by now.
Cool.
And you might need to remind me, or whether we've already done this or not, but do we need to make sure the Greenflower villagers and or Captain Swift actually have a place to settle, or whether they want to accompany us to Moonbright and actually try and build a new home there, or whether they're happy in Glentwag?
Yeah, so I think we need to spend the next couple of days just working those three out.
I mean, considering they helped, to be honest, it was a bit lower down my list, getting them a new home, even though we promised. But given that they actually helped me bring you back, I feel like we owe them.
I know, I certainly do.
Everyone make me a perception check, please.
Oh, here comes up in here.
19.
19?
25.
17.
Ooh, we're all pretty good.
Okay, you all, as you're discussing this, you begin to sort of look around you, and what you notice is in sort of the area between the gates and the keep, which was previously just a large courtyard, there is now probably around 10 or 12 tents that seem to have been sprung up. And you can now see some of the villagers of Greenflower seem to be milling about between those tents. It's almost like a makeshift refugee camp by the looks of it.
Okay.
You see the familiar horse, Thunder, the war horse, in all his glory, tied up outside one of the tents. But yeah, a random tabaxi appears and nuzzles round Dargon.
Well, I didn't have to look far for one of them.
Did you want to ask them now? Because they can't stay in them tents. We need to either ask the Malt Masters to sort them out properly, or they accompany us to Moonbright.
Yeah, I'll give them the choice. You know, maybe they've lasted a while and are happy on the road. We don't want to make choices for them.
That's true.
Regardless, I just want to go and thank them. So yeah, I'll just go start walking off straight towards Thunder, the warhorse.
Okay, so you begin walking towards Thunder, and as you approach closer to Thunder, he sort of tosses his head towards you and whinnies a little bit. It's almost like he recognises you, and sort of lowers his head as you approach, as the nose towards you, to allow you to stroke the nose. And a couple of the villagers are just sort of milling around. There's a female villager, sort of looks like she's washing some clothes. A couple of kids playing around here and there, and then hearing Thunder shift about, Grellin steps out from one of the tents. Well, met, Dargon.
Grellin. Good to find you well.
As well as can be.
I must thank you for everything you did to get us out of that horrible place.
Well, I suppose kind of even by now. You got us out. I just helped.
So, see you temporarily settling down here. What plans you got now you're out? Do you need place?
I have already asked for an audience with your Malt Masters, as you called them.
Yeah.
See if there will be land for us.
Well,
just simple farms. I think it's all we want at this stage.
We're going to speak to them at some point anyway. We'll put in a good word. I hope that they will do you the honour.
And it's much appreciated. Yes, we are not one for canvas and cold. Even in the summer, at this altitude, and night, the cold certainly sets in.
Yeah. Hopefully there's some good places slightly lower down the mountain. Some good farmland.
I think we will maintain a close proximity.
That's not a bad shout. This is Nialin after all.
Yes, and if your Malt Masters are as strong as they claim to be, then at least these people, my people, will be protected somewhat.
That's what we all hope. I'm glad to have you here.
Yes, well, I may not linger. Once the people are settled, it seems that I've neglected my abilities for too long. The path of a Horizon Walker should be to mend the rifts, or at least guard them. And there are far too many in this world.
Far too many indeed. We found a few in, well, for us, the last couple of weeks. There's too many. I tell you what, is there ever any way that we'd be able to get in touch with you when you go? I know you're not going right now. I wonder whether we might be able to get you something that will mean that if you ever need us, we'll call. We'll be there.
Well, I don't know.
Tell you what, if we find something, we'll give it you.
Okay. I mean, we can always send messenger birds, or I can always reach out to a local city when I reach there, and places of settlement.
Sounds good.
Sorry to bring
But
the
yes.
talk back to work, but you mentioned quite a few rifts. We only know of, I suppose, the ones, or we've only experienced the ones near the Feywild. Are there any other rifts in Nialin we should be aware of on our travels? For example, if we was to head north or west or northeast.
West, I've heard stories. I've never ventured that far. But there is talk of the Great Chasm of the West, which is supposedly less of a rift and more of a wide open doorway. There's a reason those deserts are so dangerous to travel. As for north, I know of very little. I've spent most of my time to the east, in Greenflower, around the islands of Ardburig, as my camera focuses in and out. And, of course, there is always Feywild.
Was there a
About
rift
the Isle of the
in
Dead.
the east, near yours?
I was able to find a small one to allow us out.
It wasn't where the dead came from then.
No, but it certainly seems like that land is cursed in some way. Those who die are now destined to rise. Not in the good way.
Would you ever, with aid, want to reclaim Greenflower?
Oh, that is very much the plan.
You best not do it without us.
No promises. I have to get there first.
I would say we know a ship, but sore point there.
Yes, from what I understand, that ship is
Fucked is the word you're looking for. Yeah, that's the one.
if that's the word you choose to use, then fucked it is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
After all, got to speak more
What
plainly
do-
now.
What do you know of the rift on the Isle of the Dead, or the portal, or whatever it may be? It may lead straight to hell.
The Isle of the Dead.
Mm.
You mean the Isle to the south?
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, nothing but stories. When I say I've neglected my work, I have truly neglected my work, and you speaking more and more of these rifts tells me there is so much more I need to do, but south, well, it is said that is a rift to the places of nightmares, the place of darkness and horror. No good thing comes from that place. There is a reason that island is called the Isle of the Dead. I understand that it is now ruled by the undead.
Yeah, rumours are true. You don't remember where the good captain and her crew went by any chance, did you?
Well, when we exited, they headed out of the gatehouse. I requested that we stay within the walls for protection, but apparently they knew a place to stay, so...
Yeah, very good. I think we know where they're going. Oh, God.
Very well.
Well, look, Ellen. Don't go without saying goodbye. We'll put in a good word, and we'll see you soon.
Before you leave, there is something that must happen first. Boy!
Oh,
With that, Callum sort of pokes his head out. What? It is time. We must put things behind us. And it is time you recognize that these gentlemen were not at fault for what became of your family. Callum looks at you and you can see there is still that venom in his eyes. And Grellan sort of steps between the two of you and looks down at him. Direct your hatred where it is needed, not at where your emotions think it best. And Grellan steps out of the way and Callum sort of squares his shoulders, which for a young lad looks almost comical, but steps up before the four of you.
I will kneel down and I will attempt to make it look less intimidating. I'm not going to try.
And he looks over at you. Well, that's patronising.
I will sit on Dargon's knee.
You guys are weird.
Callum.
I just try and lighten the mood. It's a bit awkward for me.
Alright. Grellan says you weren't at fault. I trust him. But I ain't bringing my sister back, is it?
We're sorry you lost your sister. It's no nice thing to lose anyone at any time. All of us have lost people as well. I don't say that for you to make you want to be friends with us. It's hard life, and I'm sorry that it hit you so young. It shouldn't be the case. If I knew a way to bring it back, I would.
Grellan says best to leave her as is now. She didn't rise, apparently.
As my good friend here did something, means that she's at peace and always will be. It's the least we could do.
Well, for that, he has my thanks. I will be strong.
You will be.
I'm going to take this fight to them.
In time and training, you will. You train hard like Grellan.
Okay.
You train, you fight. You become better, you become stronger. And you fight to look after Greenflower and Nialin. You do it.
Alright. I can do that.
Top man. I'll stand back up.
Man. You hear that, Grellan? He calls me man. That's this boy shit.
Watch your
Grellan
mouth.
just looks at him and gives him that sort of almost a dad look, which is, on you go and be quiet. And Callum just sort of nods and ducks back into the tent. Grellan turns to you all. Well, hopefully that's one less enemy.
I think
Fingers
I've lost
crossed.
count at this point, so
And we have enough.
every little helps.
Don't forget your friends also, though.
They're more precious to us now than ever.
Indeed. Well, boys, gents, I'll be seeing you.
Yeah. Keep safe in the walls. We'll be back soon.
For a time. Speak soon. And Grellan turns, sort of pats Thunder, and then disappears back into the tent as well.
So then, Captain Swift or Malt Masters?
Captain Swift, I think.
Yeah. Very well. Start heading towards the gate.
Okay. And as you approach the gate,
Bless you.
the guards take one look at you. Well, you guys have seen better days. On you go.
As Ander and Kirik walk past, I will stop with the guards. Hey, you don't know a good woodworker, do you?
Woodworker.
In the village?
Oh, there'll be fucking hundreds in there.
Fine. I'll try and find one.
I mean, if you're looking for good work, then Maybe ask at the tavern.
I will. Cheers.
There's a drunk, but he's known for good craftsmanship.
As long as he's good.
Okay.
I will catch up with him.
Okay, so you catch up and you make the short walk down to the tavern just outside of the Malt Masters Keep. And as we're now getting to sort of mid-afternoon, late afternoon-ish, the noise from the tavern is a not so subtle din, as there are quite clearly a lot of people in there. And as you open the door, you can see a familiar Goliath stood on top of one of the tables with a very familiar goblin with his back to him, both of them with flagons of ale just chugging all the way back. And all you can hear from the crowd is, "Drink, drink, drink, chug, 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 chug." And surprisingly, Gore just slams the thing down on the table, turns and goes, "Ah! Got you this time. Don't try to outdrink the goblins, we will always win." Quick. "Ah, friends. Good to see you." And you can see at this point, Gore is fucking hammered. Swaying where he stands, Karstan himself sort of slumps down, lands in a chair. "More ale."
Friends. Look like you're doing alright.
"Ale makes everything better." Doggone.
Cheers to that.
"For you." And Gore looks. "My friend seems to have one too many."
Looks like we got some catching up to do, boys.
Looks like Gore needs to make a constitution check.
Nat 20.
He can hold his liquor.
My first roll of the night. Nat 20.
Help
Fuck.
Wisdom now.
So you just watch as Gore just... Oh. Nope. They're good.
Do we just see those two?
More
or the rest?
drink.
Do we see the rest of them around?
As you look around, you can see Hedam is sort of just sat, slumped, his staff over to one side, and obviously using his one good arm now to drink. Geo is seemingly sat in the middle of a group of patrons, and they are just enthralled by her beauty. And she is sort of taking compliments, taking drinks, enjoying the attention. In a way you've not seen of Geo before.
She's usually quite quiet on the ship,
notice,
wasn't
yeah, you notice every now and again her hand sneaks a purse here and there, unbeknownst to those patrons.
I fancy it.
I need to pull up. There we go.
She's a
So
snake
Bralin
charmer,
is
but
sat
in
with
reverse.
Charlie next to the bar, and they seem to be in a bit more of a serious conversation. And of course, you then realise that the missing members of the party, Muvud, who knows where he is now, and Feltag, well, who knows what
Who knows
Feltag
where he
is
is?
doing.
He's on
Yeah.
charge somewhere.
And as sort of Gore now calls you over and ale is brought to you, you see Charlie turn to you all, and she's now back in her sort of long leather coat with that typical pirate's hat on, and she sort of just tips it to you and raises a drink and mouths. Thank you. As she returns to a conversation with Bralin.
Yeah, we go down and well, I'll go and talk to Karstan and Gore. Is it? Are they together?
It was Gore, yep, Karstan and Gore, currently drinking.
Oh, well then, boys. You You're doing all right here, then.
All right. The ale is free currently.
And you glad to be back in the land of the not so fucking weird.
Well, yes. At least these people know what a good time is. Yes. Less leaves
Yeah.
is good. More
What
stone.
What are you guys planning now? But don't worry.
sure.
We're not asking for anything. We just want to make sure you guys are all right.
Honestly, I leave that to the captain. Where she says I go, I go. For now, I drink. And I drink hard.
I honestly can't see a single fault in that plan. Good plan.
Carstan then sort of looks at you and with that typical drunken face of... and just collapses onto the table. And sort of makes... The table actually splits slightly as his head bounces off it. And then you can just hear him snoring. As Gore then looks down. What a fucking lightweight.
I would like to go up to Geo and just sort of go through part of the crowd a little bit and just say quietly in her ear that I'm impressed by the con that she's running, and if she ever needs to learn a few more tricks, just to let me know. Not in a sleazy way, in an actual, genuine mentor-apprentice type approach, not a sleazeball approach.
And she stands and turns very gracefully, very elegantly, very demurely, and a hand sort of strokes the side of your face and strokes the bottom of your chin. And there's a twinkle in her eyes, and she sort of leans forward. You should be so lucky. And she turns back. I need to make you to make me a perception check, please.
Ba-doing.
It seems she's learned all she needs to know.
Yeah.
Is anybody else doing a perception on how tight my trousers are getting?
Yes.
No, you just need to make a perception check, please.
10.
10. Okay, bear with me when I just pull up some character sheets.
Literally the worst you could roll. That's brilliant.
My passive perception is 18, and I rolled a 10.
Where are we?
Go team.
Okay. You turn to leave, and as you turn to leave, she then turns. Ander, you might be wanting this. She throws a coin purse back at you that she's just snaked off your belt.
It seems you know all you need to learn. I'll put it back on, and I'll be
As
quite
Ander
impressed.
then hurriedly tries to hide his erection.
Yeah.
With the coin purse.
And there we go. She continues, and you can sort of see every now and again she just sort of wraps her hand around one of the richer looking patrons, and again doesn't necessarily just always sneak a purse, she'll maybe sneak a few coins. It's a wonder where she puts it all, knowing that she doesn't wear a lot. A lot of her, well, all of her clothes are quite flowing and revealing, as is the nature of the Yuan-Ti.
She reminds me of an ex-wife.
Yeah, with that,
As you return, Gore looks at you. You want to be careful there, friend. She will take more than your money.
I think he hopes so.
Well, I don't think I've got much innocence left, Gore, to be honest with you. But I'm glad you think I have.
Well, stories for... In fact, no. Definitely not another time. Stories for now. I want to hear. You keep saying ex-wives. Tell me, how many? Who were they? Were they pretty?
No. I would say 3 of them were pretty. One of them was definitely for the money. A bit like Julia, actually.
Well-
One of my ex-wives was actually I'm not proud of it, but she was the victim of a long con of mine. I married once for love, once on the rebound, and once as part of a plan to aid them rather than myself. And then obviously one of them was a con. So there's quite a few stories to tell there, if you give me time to flesh them out.
Gore seemingly taking the silent hint to the DM. We must drink another time. More about this con I wish to hear.
I'll work on that then for next week.
There's your homework.
Okay, we know what the big bad at episode 52 is. One of your wives.
As this bustling woman comes marching in. You! Anyway.
Oh, I'm out.
She
right.
wasn't alive.
So many notes.
Yeah, right, we're going swiftly go and move up and speak to Captain Swift.
I love the pun there. That was almost worthy of a dad joke.
Yeah.
So you head over to Captain Swift. And she is in a hushed but serious conversation with Brallan, and as you approach, they stop and they both turn. Hold on.
Pardon to interrupt. Thank you again for what you did to get us back. Seems like we keep trading that. We get you back, you get us back. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure you guys are all right, and that you I don't want to say not a loose end, but that you have a plan. And that you are able to look after yourselves.
Well, that's kind of what Brallan and I have just been discussing.
I certainly don't mean to intrude.
Crew without a ship is... Well, what are we? So we're on the hunt.
Are you guys
Do you know
heading
of any
back?
ships?
Are you heading back for the seas?
Well, we need a place to call home, and for most of us, that is on the seas. So, yeah, we will probably head back.
Well,
It's fun to be in an airship for some time, but
yeah, unfortunately, it seems
Yeah.
like the person who invented it is buggered off. Otherwise, I would be happy to get another one commissioned for you. Anyway, we are heading to Moonbright at some point in the near future, which is at the very least in the general direction I assume you would like to go.
well, let's talk more about that commission. What if somebody had the plans?
I do tell.
Well, I'm sure you've seen Geo's particular talents.
She's doing quite fine at investing, yeah.
Yes, well, remiss of me to ask any woman to throw herself at a gentleman, but well, those plans were too good to really to miss up, and I suspected at some point we'd need either repairs or something. So I may have the plans still.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. However, I wonder... if we've heard of anyone who might be able to do the trickier bits.
If you was hypothetically to have plans for said ship,
Which they definitely don't.
which you definitely don't, then
Of course they're not.
hypothetically,
Absolutely.
Fairduin, or River's End as you may know it, might be able to actually help you, as he drops his pen religiously like it is a bit. He might, because hypothetically, the plans may have originally been theirs, so they might be inclined to help you acquire a new ship in return for their plans back, if you were to have them. Obviously, hypothetically.
The elves.
And obviously, you can say that I sent you, and that would bring you good favour. We're like that.
Of, I mean,
I don't believe.
I mean, of the places that we've been, the elves would be the people.
And we actually are in good favour.
Discuss it.
And
You are in good
was being
favour.
truthful.
Yeah.
I was being sincere for a change.
Sincere. Yeah, that one as well.
Sounds like you need another ale. Or was your encounter with Geo a little bit too much for you?
I must admit, I am a little bit flustered. I'm a bit red in the cheeks, as you can see.
You won't be the last, and you're certainly not the first.
So yeah, I mean, if you're not coming to Moonbright, maybe heading south to River's End might, I stress the might, be in good favour.
If you do go, if you do go, take this with you, and it should garner you entry, and I'll give them. Oh, hang on. Do we have more than one River's End coin? Before I give them mine.
Don't think so. I think we only have the one.
Oh. To be fair, they did bring my friends back to life. I'm going to give them it.
Okay. And she takes it.
What coming in? Obviously, that's some ales. I'm in a good mood.
Maybe, something written. Either we send with them or send direct. Kirik, can we do that? Just a bit of forewarning, or just something that at least they know that they haven't snatched that off us. We have intentionally provided it.
Yes, we can.
Then if he's not too much trouble, maybe we'll do that for you, Captain Swift. Give him a heads up.
I would appreciate that.
Might I also proffer a bit of a boost in the investment of such a wonderful endeavour, and I will pull out 500 coin. I hope this goes some way towards a cosy little rowboat.
And she hesitates before taking it for a second, and then looks at you. We don't deserve this charity. We were less than gracious.
Yeah, we got your ship destroyed, one of your men dead, and you stuck in the Feywild for 6 months. It's also, give it a, call it a bit of money towards a ticket when you eventually need to come get us.
Consider it a down payment on a
Yeah.
future relationship with a business.
Passage over plain water.
A holding fee, as it were.
Indeed.
A reservation fee.
And she sort of then takes the coin purse and snakes it into the inside of her jacket. More plainly, thank you, boys. As much as we griped, as much as we cursed you, you've done nothing but help us, really. We have done things, we've seen things that we, well, quite possibly never would have survived without you, so.
I think we can all say the
Regardless
same.
of the losses. Regardless of the losses, it's friendship still endure.
I was going to say onto a happier note, but sort of not. You don't know. It's weird to ask you this, guys, because we have been around here a lot, but not down at this tavern. I'm looking for a particular drunk that isn't Gore, that apparently is quite good at woodwork. Have you ever seen him before? If not, I'll ask the barkeep.
I know exactly who you're after, and that one down there. And as you look down the bar, you see a particular gnome in sort of a leather apron, quite mucky clothes underneath that, and you can see a belt around this apron as well with various woodworking tools. Looks like a set of spectacles on his head, this actually buzzed short hair, but the beard is still strong. Ginger beard, like bright ginger beard, and he is currently sat with a small keg, or a small stein if you like, of just ale.
It comes in pints.
Absolutely.
When you started describing him, I thought it was Dave's character from our Christmas special for a start.
Bit of a pain at your service. No.
That seems like so long ago now.
It's just so long ago.
Well, it was 6 months ago.
That's ridiculous.
If you've not caught that one shot out, not checked that one shot out, check it out on YouTube. It's a very fun one.
It was so
very
stupid.
fun one.
Right. Yeah, I will. Did I catch a name off Captain Swift or not? Did you just go that one?
She just said that one.
Fine. Cool. I'll walk over. Excuse me, good sir. Gonna buy you another one of them. Cheers. I'm looking to have something, some good woodwork. Will you be the person to ask for?
I think I can be helping you. And the voice is just... You see gnome, and then that voice comes out, and you think, what the fuck is going on?
Okay. I'm hoping you can make a rather good-looking coffin for an unfortunate friend of mine. Something you can do.
Well, that's about as morbid as it gets.
Fucking is.
But I've been known to make the odd coffin.
Where are you from, my friend?
Don't be a dick.
I'm genuinely curious.
I know my accents are always all over the place. Me? Well, I be from here.
I thought I detected a local accent.
You taking the piss, boy?
I can guarantee.
To be sincere. Just be sarcastic that often.
Because there is
played by
nothing
you.
in Danny or Amber's demeanour that says sincere.
Oh god.
That's why he always lies, because when he's sincere, he just gets into trouble.
Yeah, every single time.
I might as well talk shit. Nobody believes me anyway.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is particularly morbid, but I'm looking for someone who can do a good job. So, if he wants to go ahead.
Give me some more ale and we'll talk.
Barkeep, another one of these fucking huge beers. No, fuck it, make it
No,
two.
we're talking. And the barkeep just sort of looks... Okay. And sort of brings out two. Knowing the damages, that's going to be at least 50 silver.
Very well.
What?
Well, you see, he drinks, he damages, and then he rebuilds, but I need the coin to pay him, so 50 silver. Pay him.
I give him 5 gold.
That is actually
That'll do.
genius. He's keeping himself in work over and over again.
Aye, he's got it
team.
now.
Oh, I like your style.
So yeah,
The name's Strongcraft. Sinbiz Strongcraft.
It's a good name. My name's Dargon.
Nice to meet you.
And
Now
you?
this coffin.
Aye, for a Dragonborn friend of mine. So,
Dragonborn.
Yeah,
Need to be strong.
strong, 7 foot, long. If you can put some lightning motifs all over it. Not gaudy, mind. Not gaudy, just something nice.
Particular deity did he have?
Cord.
As I switched between various accents there, that went weird.
And
He's
I-
pissed. It's fine.
And I fucking hope and pray it was cord.
It was called, yeah.
Ah, Cord, yes. Cord I can do.
Yeah. He was a good champion of cord.
Any weapons you need carrying with him?
Yeah. What weapons did he have?
I don't
Has
think he
he
had
actually got any on
anything
him?
with him. He didn't have anything
He was
with
a
him at
vampire,
the
wasn't he?
time.
Was he a vampire?
So he'd just been empty in a cave.
He did while he was in death. So he
Ah,
had
that was
an
what I was
elven
remembering.
warhammer which he'd managed to pilfer, and just a simple round shield which again he'd managed to, basically everything he had in death he had
His pilfered, right,
stolen
okay.
off the dead.
Before that, did I know him with a staff or any particular weapon?
Before that, you knew him with a rather elegant warhammer, which was adorned with the symbols of Cord, and he had another small round shield, which he usually kept on his back. To be honest, very rarely used it, but that itself was adorned with the symbol of Cord in the middle of it.
So
It was very much just Cord this, Cord that, and I'm a Dragonborn. Check me out.
I describe that, and I ask him if once he's able to also, well, basically just I try and describe Vraco with the sort of the cowl, the hood over, and just like could have have him laying down with the warhammer and the shield over his chest, literally carved into the top.
Ooh.
That'll take some time.
Yeah.
The wood's easy to acquire, but to work it that way, well, it's, I might need a hand or two.
Yeah, if you get a couple more hands, how long do you think it will take?
I'll have it done by the week's out, I think. And push some other projects back.
I'll be very grateful for that. How much will I owe you?
Well, to push some other projects back for that amount of work, that's going to be a good, I'll call it 100 gold.
Very well.
I'm assuming you don't want any effects laying on this at all.
He had no effect with him.
No, when I say effects, I mean of the sparkly kind.
Oh, like a vajazzle.
What the fuck's a vajazzle?
Oh, sorry, that's a thieves' cant for decorative sequins.
I can
That's
hear
in
you
the
typing
dictionary.
that.
Yep.
Ladies of the night usually put them on their.
Just
No,
thieves'
lady
cant dictionary
gardens.
being made every time.
That sounds like a story that you and I will be having over a few more of these, I think.
Oh, I've chipped many a tooth.
I was thinking more of the magical type.
Oh.
Now that does sound magical, mind you, but more of the arcane.
Yeah, what you got in mind?
I don't know. That's why I was asking you. I mean, if you want him preserved, then we can imbue spells into the wood. Well, I say we. I have to go see someone at the castle for that, but it's possible.
I think
Is
we're...
that the sort of thing the Archdeacon might want to do himself?
I was going to say, I think we'll just land on Kirik to keep him until then. I just need to get him back to Moonbright.
Simple coffin, simple carving.
Yeah.
More ale. And the money.
I will hand over 100 gold.
To celebrate the conclusion of the deal, I will cast Enlarge on his beer.
As you do. Oh, boys, where have you been all my life? Pulls out one of his tools, because this thing is huge now and he's not going to be able to get the lid off because it's too big, and literally just chisels a hole in the side of this thing and just sort of starts supping it from the side, and all you can hear is just...
Nice.
Places his hand over it. Oh. Now we're talking. You, sticking around?
I wish we could.
What?
But you'll find us up...
As he then takes a cut because it starts to leak around his hand.
You'll find us up at the keep. Any questions, or when it's ready, come find us. Ask for Dargon.
Roger that. Thanks, boys. Barkeep, more glasses.
And
He
I'll
literally starts
good
filling
luck
up one.
to the barkeep as we walk off.
What he notices, is then he sort of gets 4 glasses out and then looks and shakes it, places it down, and you've enlarged the keg, but not the contents of.
You bastard. That's not what I wanted to do.
And so he sort of turns and looks and went, oh well, worth a shot. And knocks it back. Okay, anything else we're doing in this tavern?
I'm alright. Are we
Yeah, not in a tavern, I don't think.
Nope.
Okay, where are we off to next?
back to the Malt Masters, I think?
Yeah, straight to the Malt Masters. As the summer sun is now beginning its journey over the horizon or over the mountains, and it's sort of that twilight effect, which reminds you a little bit of the Feywild, but not so much that you're concerned. You just have sort of those flashback memories of how the Feywild was always in this weird sort of half-light, but more purplish than the red you have now of the summer sun setting. And you make your way back up to the gatehouse and beyond. You make your way from up the familiar courtyard all the way to the Malt Masters keep itself. Sort of as you approach the door, as always.
Sorry, just before we go into the actual castle, I will walk back into Mephisto's very quickly, just before it's closing if he's still open.
And you step in and you can see Mephisto is sort of packing things up. Hold on. Sorry, did we have something else to sort?
No, I know you're looking at that weird orb and finding out what it is. Don't worry, that's fine. This was just a very impromptu one. I'm sure that you've got plenty of little hints and tricks and little toys and stuff. If you might have a small toy shield and small toy sword, do you mind finding Callum out in the little villages and the tents? And parcel it up well. Just hand
The boy with the half orc.
Yeah.
Well, he bought a real sword and a real shield.
Never mind. As you were. Have a good evening.
Sorry, was I not supposed to? Should he not be playing with sharp objects? Should I be concerned?
Too right. No, I was going to give him a starter set, but fuck it. He might as well stab himself. He'll learn one
Straight
point.
to level 2. Yep.
Well, he there's something about that boy.
He's got a
Can't
drive.
see him being the sword and shield type. Suspect other things for him.
Ah, okay. Keep an eye on him, will you? In a good way.
Do what I can.
You know, if you see anything, if you see him being needing to be guided to whatever will help him, I'm sure you'll have it behind that counter.
I think if anyone's going to guide him, he's probably with the scariest motherfucker I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he is. Anyway, Mephisto, have a good evening.
And to you. I'll send word about the orb when I figure it out, and
Absolutely fine.
yeah. Tell Kirik I'm hunting. I'm trying to find what he needs.
Cool. Cryptic. Love it. Good night.
Good night. He
Speaking
continues
of the boy
to pack stuff up.
As I come back.
If Grellan does move on and leaves the boy here, maybe we could ask the Malt Masters to set him up as like an apprentice, or if he is whatever way inclined he may be, he could either be taken under the wing of the Cooper, the distiller, the blender, or somebody in their court.
I think it's better that he starts as probably a guard of the keep first. But I see your point. You need, try and help him out.
I just don't know if they could do some form of assessment, if they could see what sort of potential he has and then put him on the right path.
I'm sure that he can go through the Sorting Hat, yeah.
Kind of like the Jedi Council. See if he's good enough.
Yeah.
Sorting Hat's a better metaphor, I like that one.
He's too old.
Kirik is definitely Hufflepuff.
Much fear I feel in him.
Oh, we're crossing the streams here to use every pop culture reference going.
And we're probably crossing some form of copyright infringement law, but it's fine.
Nah,
It's all good. It's all good.
We're still streaming.
It's fan stuff. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So you make your way back up to the Malt Masters Keep. And as always, as you approach the door, before you even have a chance to knock, the door opens, and before you stands Mirabelle. Mute as always, she bows and sort of looks at you inquisitively.
I would like... you go, Dagon.
I was going to say, I was actually going to say that I would be behind you because I've gone to Mephisto, so it will be up to you.
I will then, because I've never heard her speak, obviously, because she's a mute. So I want to... Oh, hang on. Let me just check first. Yes, they can. I will use the message cantrip to talk to her to say, can you take us to the Malt Masters? They may not be expecting us, but we need audience with them. Hopefully that'll make her feel at ease, the fact that she'll be able to talk back to me.
Yeah, but you have to say you can
for a
reply to
minute.
this message.
She steps back and sort of a little bit shocked. And then she looks at you and smiles. And you hear a very faint voice, a very meek voice. Of course. Follow me. Thank you.
And I'll
All
lean
said in your head, of course.
Yeah,
Her mouth doesn't move.
I'll lean forwards like, and
Yeah, I've got it covered. I was talking to her in my own special way.
All right.
Her eyes are just trained on Anders' face at this point, and there is just a look of concentration and almost a look of gratitude as well, an adoration almost, as she then turns and guides you in. And instead of leading you upstairs this time, she leads you on the ground floor, down the corridor, turns right, and you go into the library as it was. And in there, sat upon the chairs, each with a drink in hand, are the three Malt Masters.
Good afternoon, or good evening, as we should say.
And you can see they're all sat in silence but concentrating, and they all look up like, boys, yes, Sorry, the distiller chimes up. We were lost in thought. Been, well, trying to figure a few things out. But please, Cooper, perhaps we should get some more seats. Maybe from the other rooms. And I can't find my Malt Masters keep map, which is really... There we go.
Hopefully we can help you
That out.
It's fine, I got it. So the Cooper sort of lumbers out, grabs Dargon. You can help. And you both weave down the corridor, go through the banquet hall, into the smoking room, and sort of pick up a few chairs and move them back in. And when there's enough chairs for all of you, including Bothrid, you all then sit, and the Cooper pulls 4 more glasses out from one of the shelves in the library, pours some amber liquid into them, nectar of the gods, good old whiskey. So boys, I trust you are rested, and the ordeals of, well, the last few months for us, but for you, apparently, hours, days?
Yeah,
Days,
mid days.
I appreciate that must be weird.
It's one word
It's an
for it.
adjustment period. Hopefully we can help each other figure things out.
Yes, there is, well, there's much for us to, and he sort of just disappears into thought. Sorry, it's, troubling times. Never before have one of our own, well, betrayed us, really.
If it
We've
makes you
always
feel
been
any better,
A unit.
I don't know the full story, obviously, but and I don't know the grounds in which they actually left with the sword. But for what we saw, that sword is one hell of a smooth talker and one hell of a thing.
Yes. We've heard stories, and, well, we know from you the effects of the sword, but, well, he was always a bit smarter than that. Honestly, I think if the sword found its way to his hand, then he was probably the one who sought it out, and not the other way around.
Speaking from experience, arrogance is not the way to go about treating that sword. It didn't work for me. And if I could, be frank for a minute, he did have that about him.
Cards on the table, yes, he was a dick.
Yeah.
Spit a little bit of drink out.
But he was... Well, he was never malevolent. Not with us. Something must have happened.
In the months we've been gone, have you heard anything? Any signs?
Well, there's been plenty of signs. It seems there is a cult spinning up now
brilliant.
around him.
Well, that's always lovely.
I say around him. It seems... Well, I don't suppose you recognise this symbol, do you? And he throws a bit of torn cloth, and on this cloth there is the symbol of a human skull with fire coming from the eye sockets, and it's surrounded by these radiating drops of blood that sort of fly out, and you can see now as you look at the cloth that how this has been made is yes, there's been some stitching for the skull, but the actual blood drops are real blood.
Have we?
Make me a history check, please. Or a religion check on that note.
Just a shit. Nice! 18.
Nope.
11.
8.
8. Doggone, where might you have garnered this knowledge from? I have an idea, I just want to see where you think you might have.
I'm going to say it looks awfully familiar to dead bodies at the top of a mountain. In my old village.
You think back and you remember the temple and certain tomes in the temple, certain descriptions of pantheons and descriptions of divine circles and those sorts of things, and you recognise this as an old symbol which has not been seen in the land you came from. It had not been seen for a long time. You recognise it as the symbol of Baal, who was once known as the god of murder.
Oh, that rings a bell.
Yeah. And were they saying, have we ever seen this before?
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of familiar. Not gonna lie.
Go on.
Back in my old clan, we looked after a temple. We were, I don't know, guards, keepers, wardens maybe, of a temple. I had no fucking idea what it was for. But we looked after it. Anyway, there was an ancient library in it. And if I recall, that particular symbol... which god was it? Baal.
And at this point, I'll stop drinking my drink, look up in a little bit of horror. Did you just say
And there's a
Baal?
look that passes between the Malt Masters as well at this point. Sorry to interrupt.
I did say Baal. I think I'm right.
While I was having my lucid dreams about the time when I was cursed by the sword, it told me that my soul belonged to Baal. So it all adds up.
Yeah, it's Baal's then. It's gotta be. It was a fucking horrible book. Covered in blood.
This has progressed way beyond what I experienced.
Yes, it is concerning.
I wasn't really
considering
much.
that Baal was.
Yeah, I wasn't
meant to
really much
be-
of a reader. I just knew it was him.
Baal is meant to be diminished. Some say destroyed,
Yeah,
but can you really destroy a god? Who knows?
You
Can't
have
say
to
I've ever
rethink
tried.
that hypothesis.
Well, I mean, yeah, from the evidence, I think we'd have to say he's making an appearance.
So
So it would seem this
the
cult
Stillman
is.
the leader of this cult, or is the cult idolizing the Stillman?
I think the
It's the
sword is the
second
leader.
I think it's still
I'm
one maybe a
inclined to
vessel.
agree with Kirik. I think the sword is channeling something. And this cult now grows around him while he carries the sword. But I have no question that should he fall and the sword remain in the cult, they will continue. He is but a powerful conduit for a voice. Either that
Do you
or
have
he is
any
fully given over to a new god, and if so, Well, then he is gone, and he is lost.
Who was his?
Do we
who
have
was
any
his
idea
old
where?
god?
There might
Could
be.
they help?
His old god. Well, you know he liked to tinker. You know he liked to make things. Rare for a dragonborn, but to you as a student of Moradin.
Ever heard of it?
Dwarf.
Religion
Dwarf,
checks, please.
It's the same goblet Kirik gave to somebody.
16?
11 again.
Same place.
I rolled a 10. Oh, a 13. So that was a 9, not a 6.
So all of you get that one. Moradin's one of the more well-known gods. Also known as the Orhammer, is a god of craft and creation. You would remember the goblet with the symbol on it, which was this hammer where the ends are carved with the likeness of these dwarven heads. And you did. I can't remember exactly who you gave the goblet to. I will have to go back and revisit that note. But yes, you do. You did have a goblet with the
Did you
symbol
give
of
it to
Moradin on.
The dwarven people had seen me. I can't remember what. Because
I
looked after the
think
lighthouse for us.
I think I gave that to a. I think I gave that to a Church of Moradin. I think.
Oh,
Yes, you did.
you did.
I think-
The
yeah, I think I
temple
did,
in
yeah.
Black.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Yeah,
you
I think
did.
it was it actually. Yeah.
That reminds me, though, those dwarves are still looking after that lighthouse for us. Whoops.
I
And
was,
it has
We
been
probably
months
owe them
now.
some
I was about to say, we paid him for 6 months. I think it may have just run out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How long were we gone? Still haven't asked that question.
Yes, I suppose that is a pertinent question. Almost 5 months.
Great.
To be honest, we know the Feywild has certain tricks. We honestly thought you were dead.
We were.
We were.
I mean, technically, yeah, they did.
Okay. We didn't think you were coming back. We honestly had started to scour for new champions.
Ouch.
Oh, I'm a bit offended. I can live past it.
I say with a
I
right
only
smile.
wish to be honest in the sakes of there is a larger plan here.
I mean, other than the cult has any other enemies or any other evils springed up that we need to know about.
I suspect you already know this, but north, it has not got warmer, as you would expect.
So,
It stays cold most of the year, but it seems colder still these times, and we all know the reason why, I suspect.
Zapanir.
Indeed.
To give you an idea, I think that's where we're all thinking of heading. I still believe there is a part of the prophecy up there, and I kind of look at Ander. I don't know if you know this, but the Eladrin that was causing such trouble around the land, we actually discovered his name, and Ander here was brave enough to kill him.
Well, Ander. Seems you've had quite a 5 months.
As you already know, it came at quite the price.
5 months, packed in a couple of days.
My concern is that we might have disposed of a puppet. We have, I believe, had the idea for a while that he was not well, he wasn't working on his own accord. There was someone above him. And once that creature learns of, well, the fact that their champion might be dead, they might try to find one champion of their own or decide to take matters into their own hands. So I think that we should all also press on with the businesses that, quite frankly, we've been putting up for 5 months.
Far too long.
Indeed. And the Stillman turns to you, Kirik. Do you have any clue who might be pulling the strings?
I look at Dargon.
You know the tale of the of Timael being turned and killing the king.
We know what you have told us and what we have read, yes.
He was turned by a fiend. A horrible demon with red burning eyes and horns. Black skin, if I can recall.
Fiend? A demon?
I believe so.
Are you quite sure it's a demon?
Can't be sure of anything at the moment. Powerful enough to sway a celestial such as Timael.
And that is no mere feat in itself. I mean, there are the greater demons, but would one of the demon princes seek out such a prize?
A demon one, huh?
Demon prince. I mean, you must understand there are hierarchies in everything. Just like
Makes
there
sense.
are gods and angels, there are demons who are almost godlike. There are devils who are considered godlike. There are the infernal gods. There are, well, creatures of the Fey who are almost godlike. With everything there is a hierarchy. I can see the cogs in Simao's head just turning.
I just have a question. Was there a throne to the west?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Was that sort of
Good.
out of game? Was that in character?
Was our game? Was our game?
Yeah.
Out of game, yeah. There was a throne to the west.
Feywild, Shiverspire, and the Black Sea.
Yeah, so the first thing we went to,
Cool.
we thought
Cool.
we were going
Cool.
to find all of the three areas, and what we first went to was Ironforge, and we knew that those other three were there. Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't one of the Brother Kings? He was with the Hells, wasn't he? Do you think he made some sort of stupid deal and it got him fucked over?
Or
Now,
had a bastard
that
son
is a thought.
who wants revenge.
Two
That would
very
make him a
interesting
prince.
thoughts. No. The Hells are... Well, they are the realms of the infernal, not the abyssal. If we are talking the Hells, then we are talking devils, not demons.
You might have some competition, Ender.
Are you saying that one of the Brother Kings got
Nah,
into some sort of awkward deal and handed his own kingdom over to the Hells?
He's trying to solve the prophecy to claim the throne for himself because he doesn't know there's a rightful biological heir.
Or he believes is the biological heir.
Yeah.
Maybe there was... You're talking about deals, Darkman. Maybe it was love. I mean... Love will do terrible things, I hear. So... Who's to say?
The blender looks at you, Kirik, as you say this, and there is a look of something on her face as you say that.
Inside check.
Love does do terrible things.
As much as I would love to know more about our puppet master, I think that will send us on yet one more side road.
Oh, if there is a puppet master, then there is a lot more preparation to be done before you face him.
I simply want to find out
does
information
indeed.
about him.
Well,
Them.
that is something... That is something that is for definite.
If we are able to find a little bit more information about them, I may ask for some help from the Raven Queen. I may be able to learn a little bit more than what we know, but I do need to be somewhat familiar with this creature.
I don't want to be too familiar just yet.
Maybe some history
give that knowledge
towards...
freely?
Well, I didn't say freely, but yes.
Okay. Well, it seems like there is at least one thing for us to do in the meantime, and that is, well, investigate, find more about the puppet master, as you call them.
And I think, as our original discussion, that at the very least there might be some more information up at Shiverspire. Notwithstanding ancient undead dragons in our way, I think, unfortunately, we have to go and find out.
And if we are heading north, and the Stillman used to be a student of Moradin, do you think the dwarves of Shiverspire might know of a way or be able to call on Moradin to maybe get through to the Stillman and try and break the curse? Assuming he had garnered favour with Moradin previous to turning its back on him.
And I think that is the key point. If he's turned his back on his... well, his god... I'm not sure Moradin would want him back. Not after what he's done.
Not the forgiving type then.
Just a stupid question that we're not going to walk straight into him or anything. But he's
Who
not
knows
like...
where he is at this point.
Fine.
He is in the wind, as they say. The
So
cult
if
is growing, so you may well meet some of them.
But if we find a lot of dead bodies and a lot of chanting, then maybe we have found them.
I would intervene.
What, you mean...
Smirks a little bit.
Me? You know, pass up a fight? You've got to be joking.
And Palor doesn't take kindly to cults.
Oh...
You are literally poking the bear.
Yeah. A proper growl.
Sorry, I do not mean to go with cults. To have one of our own turn on us like this is... well, it's infuriating, quite honestly. We need to be honest with you as well.
I know it doesn't pale, but you may have or may not have been caught up in the fact that Vraco in the Feywild did a lot of damage, and it was us who stopped him, and we had to stop him.
We are aware.
So I
Having
did
just
what needed
killed
to be
my
done.
to some
bear,
part,
I know how much
to
I
some
can
part,
do.
yeah, know your pain.
Well, that brings us to another point. It's been happening for some time now. And the blender turns Distiller, no, not now. And the Distiller turns and says, "It is time they knew. Our power is dwindling."
Oh, shit.
In what way? Whiskey's still as good.
Well, our skills in distillation are ever present. But
Cheers
our
to
own
that.
powers... Well, I suspected this might happen. As we reach a point where our purpose is almost complete, the strength gifted to us is taken. We're not as strong as we once were. We cannot protect this land like we once could, and I think you've been suspecting that for some time.
Regardless of what we expect, I sincerely hope that this information has not left this room, and I get quite stern at this point.
No. We would not admit our weakness to anybody but those we trust explicitly.
Good. Keep
But
it
it
that way.
is at this point that while we remain the Malt Masters, we can be nothing more than guides to you, and it's time to forge your own paths. Time to become something more than merely our champions. When the time comes, of course we will help where we can, but it's time for you four to become more. To become something else. The people of this city already rally at your names. I'm sure others do as well. But perhaps it's time for a new symbol to lead Nialin.
I'm not going to lie. You've either got a powerful name, gets you through doors, or you've got a quiet band of mercenaries who slip by unnoticed. Both have those favours. It'd be remiss of me to not know which one will be better for us right now.
I think that depends on the situation, Dargon.
I
There'll be
think-
some places
Dargon,
where you can go in with trumpets blaring, other places where, no offence, Ander, but people with your talents will be better suited.
And that's why I sincerely hope that we don't end up with a... yeah. Well. That we are not a rally point until right near the end. Until we need that help.
I think given that what we've already experienced in the Feywild, the people we've protected in Moonbright, the favour we've garnered in River's End, the people of Glentwag, they already see us as their wardens. Almost, we are the wardens of Nialin already, I believe. We just need to maybe lean into that when it is advantageous to us.
You know, Wanda, for so long I've been running away from the fact that I used to be the caretaker of a temple I knew not what it was for. To be a warden again, of anywhere, and to be proud of it would be nice. But I don't think we're necessarily looking after Nialin.
Oh,
I think we're looking after more than that.
yeah.
All three of us have died now. We came back. We still made our way in and out of the Vale. So I guess that's our purpose for now.
I think in our previous trip as well, we have to understand that the people from the Hells, the people from Death, the undead, have no right in living. And we should ensure that they stay on the right side of death. So we are not always here to just send people if they get in our way. We're here to make sure that they also don't come back.
Guard the veil, you might say. Never heard that before.
As I
Sure,
say,
chuckles.
Almost like magic, there is a whisper. Guard the veil, Kirik.
so the thing is, Kirik,
The veil.
I don't think we just guard it. We maintain it.
We must become its wardens, as we are for Nialin.
What say you, Kirik?
I think with the Wardens of the Veil.
Hands in the middle. Wardens of the Veil on 3.
Wardens of the Veil.
Wand of the Veil it is.
I'll drink to that.
And all three of the remaining Malt Masters look upon you all now, and there is a deep sense of pride just radiating off them. You three have become much more than we could have ever hoped already.
Fuck, where's Bothrid?
I think it needs. I kind of think it needs its own brand of whiskey, a special small batch.
That I can do.
A sherry cask might be nice.
That we can do. Cooper. The fine wine casks, I think. Blender. I think you know the ones we need. I will work on a batch. Of course, we'll need someone else to man the stills now. What an arsehole.
Have you got anyone in mind?
Oh, I may know of
I think-
a young boy who may need taken under somebody's wing.
Brewing alcohol, great for underage. Sorry.
He teaches him responsibility at a young age, and child labour is not illegal in Nialin yet.
I'm assuming you mean the young boy that accompanies the half-orc in the refugee camp.
He has a lot of spirit, that kid, and to be honest, I feel like he needs a good stewardship. So he reminds me a lot of myself, and obviously at that time I was taken in by someone who had nefarious means and methods. But I feel like if he was set on the right path, he could be a great man, as I am half becoming a little bit.
And the distiller smirks. Well, I suppose someone needs to inherit the castle. We'll speak with him.
Hang on a minute.
While I remember, I don't know whether they've already spoken to you. I believe the villagers of Grieflower would like to join ranks here and till the fields close by and improve the community, but keep themselves safe. Is that something you can accommodate?
They can't be living in tents. They deserve more than that.
Absolutely.
All they need is simple farmland.
And that we have in spades. No
Good.
pun intended.
Hey!
They can settle here. And they will do so with our most earnest blessing. We will clear land for them to tend. It will be theirs, and it will remain theirs. No one will be able to take it from them.
I assume that at least one field is going to be for growing malt and barley.
Well, we'll have to see how we can convince them. Maybe a mutual agreement. trade deal, so to speak.
I like the sound of it. It seems like we have a path ahead of us, and you have some research potentially.
Yes. We will study. Well, maybe not me. I will, I'll bash things until they, look suitably dented. These two, however, are now the brains of this operation.
On that note, Cooper, when you're free, you couldn't teach me how to dent shields a little harder than I usually do, could you?
I will see you early tomorrow morning, Dargon. And we will dent whatever we need.
Just one more thing. I know it can seem scary, what you're going through. I know you've lived a long time. Perhaps you thought this moment would never reach. Perhaps you forgot that in the end what really counts is what we did with the time that's left. So I perhaps would rebuild bridges that have been burnt over the times. We've heard stories from the places we've been to. People that don't respect you as they used to, due to actions that none of us are here to judge. We don't know the full story of it. But perhaps sending an emissary, sitting around a table, discussing, would be another good use of the time that's left.
And some olive branches might even be better extended in person. And I'll look at the distiller as I say that.
I agree with that.
Getting towards her relatives in River's End and elsewhere.
It is high time I stopped neglecting my family.
You never know when they won't be there anymore.
Indeed. Thank you, boys. You have reframed old souls. It's easy to remain in these castle walls and govern what you think is a unified kingdom. Kingdom is the wrong word. We are not kings, we are not queens. Unified country.
Oh, it'll be a kingdom again one day.
I hope so, Ander. I hope you three can work to unite this place a little better. Gods
We'll try.
know it needs it.
As long as I have my sword and my moral compass by my side, I'm sure everything will go well.
The blender turns to you at this point. Moral compass? Really?
He was speaking about Kirik.
Mm-hmm.
Very well, Wardens of the Vale, was it?
Feel like I need a special pin.
Working title.
I think the title definitely suffices.
We haven't peer reviewed it
Yes.
or workshopped it with an audience yet, but yeah.
I'm quite excited. It's almost like a new chapter in Nialin's history. Well, we are here for you all. I have one favour to ask, though.
Ask it.
When you go back, when you see him again, bring him home.
Dead or alive?
He's already dead, Ander. Just bring him home.
I will offer him exactly the same that I am doing for Vraco.
Very well. This has been far too serious for my liking. I think we need more whiskey.
More whiskey, and I will light a cigar.
You light a cigar up. The Cooper turns to you and says, "Do you have a spare one?"
Ah, yes. And I will pick up a couple and
Would you
offer them around.
care for me to provide the entertainment?
Please do.
What a fantastic idea. Let us drink not as I don't know the term, but let us drink as friends. Allies to the end. To the Wardens of the Vale.
To
the Wardens of the Vale.
The students have become
And
the
you
master.
drink. Ander plays and delivers a performance befitting the halls of kings. As you all begin to chat more like friends and less like employer and employees. And the atmosphere just lifts. Any tensions that were there before just seemingly disappear, and you see the Malt Masters now as the people they are, less for the station they keep. And you drink into the night and eventually stumble back to the third house on the row, back into your home in the Malt Masters Keep. As the Cooper has long fallen asleep in his chair, the distiller seemingly begins to pull out a book and just read, and the blender at one point gets up and starts dancing. And dancing with Ander. And so we end the evening. And with that, I think it is the perfect place to take a short break. Welcome back, everyone. So, a huge shout out to everyone still following along in the chat and still following on stream. I will say it again, now we're at sort of half time ish. Please follow and please continue. Please tune in next week. We will only be giving anything away to those who follow, of course. So, tune in, follow, join us next week, 7:30. For all the special surprises to come. But more generally, thank you all for still being with us. Thank you all for supporting us thus far. And we hope you continue along with us. But after that quite emotional hour, I think it was there, let's see where the Wardens of the Vale choose to go next as they wake from their drunken slumber. Even Bothrid, now having drunk and relaxed, removes any points of exhaustion as he has a full night's sleep and actually is still asleep as the rest of you wake.
I will go out and start training. I don't feel up to speed yet. In real
You will
world,
be on -2
I'm
now.
on -2 instead of a -4, but I'm feeling better.
You were a -3 for that previous day because you rested.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So started
that
off
last
-4,
day,
then
so
the
you're
last
now
day
on
-3, now -2. So on -2,
Yep.
I will go and start, start moving, start, doing sort of, that thing after injury, like, I'm going to get back out and start working again, try and get rid of it. So,
Cool.
that's what I want to do. Obviously, I know that I'm just waiting the week for the coffin to be made. And to use that time to hopefully train as much as I can with the Cooper to learn some new skills in combat.
Would
Good
my strength score handicap be reduced as well?
How many days was
Your
it?
strength
You rolled
score
for days, didn't you?
handicap, I think we already discussed, would be... In fact, no, that will be gone now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you are fully up to speed now. Okay, and I think we'll say for the sake of brevity that the rest of the week, Dargon, you train. Is there anything else specifically that anybody wants to do for the rest of this week?
Yes, there is.
Go ahead.
Legend lore. No.
Sorry, I'm just
On
choosing
what?
spells. Hang on.
I know. I know. He doesn't.
What else have we got to discover?
I will make your life a living hell, Matt. You'll have
You
to
will
have
make my
everything
life
prepared
a
all
Oh.
the time.
To be
Right.
fair, I've already had to do a lot of improv this first half
Yeah.
because you're like, I want to go see this
Well,
person, and I want to go find this sort of person.
Sorry.
shit.
One thing I will do. So go on, Ander.
I was just going to say you had to make up a voice for a mute earlier, so that on the spot. So that was. I tried to catch you out with that, but yeah,
That one I didn't have to make up. I knew Mirabelle has been in my head for I don't know how long. So yeah, more magic and more content.
So I will spend the evenings after training reading my book.
Okay.
Read your book, guys.
Yeah, we'll be doing that as well.
I
So
lost
I'll
my
say
book, it
you
was in my
each
bag of holding.
spend. Yeah, the Book of Song.
Could
is
I try
gone.
and acquire another book of song from the library?
Oh shit.
I will say you visit the library of the Malt Masters, and there is a Book of Song, because it is quite a common book.
Yoink. I will check that out and not return it. That's for sure.
Okay, so you now have a Book of Song.
Starting again from scratch. Is it 100 hours again? I'm back up to it now, isn't it?
No, you don't have to start from scratch with that one. It's not one of
Really?
those books that if you lose it, you have to start from scratch. It's literally a physical book that it doesn't disappear or do anything like that. It's basically like a textbook.
Yeah.
During the week, there's going to be a day, probably, say third day, where Kirik is going to, as he's putting his armor on, he's going to look at his shield, and he's going to open the door, make sure that Dargon and then both are out. And he's going to put his shield on his hand. And kind of close his eyes. And remember that feeling that he had when he was, well, beyond. And I'll just kind of press onto the shield, and the ruby on the raven's eyes is gonna shine, then open, and I'm gonna use Door to the Veil.
Okay. Kirik, unbeknownst to your friends, your body becomes ice cold. And in fact, your body begins to become almost white as it frosts over. The very hair on your head freezes over, and you yourself open your eyes and step into a very familiar river as you step into the first district of death. There are bodies all around, as per last time. There is that dim light everywhere, and the current as you step in seeks to surge around you. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please. And do so with advantage.
Alrighty. Natural 20.
The current surges, and you just stand there like, yeah, what?
I will walk for a bit, probably descending several levels. And I want to find, kind of just looking at the souls here, just trying to see if I notice anyone from maybe grain flour around.
Okay. I will say for the sake of this that you need to descend to around the 8th district. Which is a district you've not been to before. But now there is a knowing inside you, and the shield almost guides you as well. From the 1st to the 6th. And you radiate an aura here where the dead seem to keep their distance somewhat. You have a few minor scrapes, we'll say, where dead creatures and these twisted creatures seek to come at you for a minute, and then you turn the shield towards them, and that symbol of the Raven Queen deters them for now. As I pull up more notes, talk amongst yourselves.
This is a bad idea. Very bad idea.
Nah, it's fine. It will be fine.
So you remember that the 6th precinct itself can be, or the 6th district, sorry, can be summoned almost anywhere. It's not a fixed place, unlike the other places in Death. And as you then summon the 6th gate as well, you see a circle of water 10 feet wide just dries up in front of you and sinks down. Looks like it sinks down for about 300 feet. And you step down. And you step into... literally go down this sort of winding staircase for 300 feet, and then you step into a new precinct, one that you've not seen before. And you're unsure what to expect here. What you do notice, however, is that there is this line of red fire that runs from horizon to horizon. Something inside you recognizes that as the next gate, and you begin to make your way towards it. I need some das. Okay.
I know.
You make your way towards that line of red fire, and as you approach it, you then speak another spell, which again comes to you from somewhere, just innately knowing how to navigate this realm. And an arch appears in the fire and allows you to walk through it, and you step beyond. And you step beyond into the next district, which is totally different from any of the others. The 8th district has these patches of oil-like fire burning, and they just float across the surface, and they seem to move independently and almost flare up out of nowhere. As one flares up next to you, make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Great. 19.
As one flares up next to you, you instantly sort of, again, instinctively dart out of the way as this fire just flares. Again, something inside you tells you to avoid this. You know now that to step beyond this gate, or to step beyond this district, you would have to enter a place where all external stimulus would be cut off. Where nothing can be seen, heard, or felt. And then you must step beyond that into the 9th district, the final district, where someone who, without the proper skills, could quite easily just fall into the beyond. And you begin to look around. You see various bodies, various souls passing through. Some still. You see the shadows of things twisted, malevolent, stalking around the district. You are a lucky son of a bitch. Make me a perception check, please.
$23.
As you walk through this district for a while, choosing not to step further, you see a familiar figure sat just in this pool of water. Oily fire seemingly, just these patches of oily fire just swirling and missing them somehow. And you see the shaman of Greenflower. You can see where the sword that Dawncaller used pierced his very heart. You can see the wound. And the shaman looks up. I know you. Where am I?
We saw each other a long time ago. I look a bit different. You
Was it
are...
long ago?
You might not think it was. But, yes. You are at peace, though.
Peace. I am trapped. I know I should move on. But I can't.
What's stopping you?
I don't know. Places a hand to his chest and sort of literally reaches in to this hole, basically, in his chest. This should have ended me, and yet I am not gone.
I think I can help with that, if that will bring you peace.
Yes. I should go.
I'll approach him, and I'll extend my hand towards his chest. And in placing my hand, I'm going to activate the shield. And I'm going to step out into Greenflower, where the shaman died.
There is a blinding flash of light. You find yourself stood next to a well. The light around you is dark, the sky covered in clouds. And although you don't see them, you can hear the sounds of the ravenous dead. I'm going to ask you to make me a stealth check, please.
Not gonna happen. 6.
As you step out, your shield catches on the well. And you can then hear the sort of snarls and the snaps. And you can see a single zombie comes shambling out of nowhere. And looks towards you.
Cast Toll the Dead on it.
Okay. That is a
Wisdom saving throw.
wisdom saving throw. Bear with me just a second. Because of all the fucking curveballs you could have thrown at me tonight. 15.
Fails. DC 17.
In fact, sorry, that is a 17.
Saves.
Okay. Begins to just sort of shamble up towards you. Slowly. Seems to be only the one at this point. Make me a very quick perception check, please.
23.
23. You notice that the houses that once stood proud and rustic are now battered, destroyed remains. There are scenes of rot everywhere as this now shambling corpse just slowly makes its way up to you. I am going to say, roll initiative, please.
Uh, 19.
Okay. You're up first as this zombie begins to make its way towards you, probably within about 10 feet at this point.
Seeing that, I'm going to bash my shield against the well, and I'm going to go for a 5th level Spirit Guardians.
Nice. So, you bang your shield against it, and in that moment where the noise rings out, you hear more. These swirling ravens swarm around you. Anything else on your turn?
Just identify where the noise is coming from.
The noise is coming from everywhere.
Cool.
Now you remember Greenflower, the well was very much at the centre, the heart of the village itself.
Cool.
And the sounds now seemingly just sort of ring out in the darkness and the dim light. So the zombie is well and truly inside this swarm. He's going to move that extra 10 feet up to you, but in doing so, he's going to roll an 11.
Uh, 18 points of Radiant.
18 points of radiant. As these ravens just punch holes and drag bits of flesh off the zombie, and it is bloodied, but it is still somehow dragging what is left of its corpse just towards you, and gets within range as it drags itself towards you. Is then going to make a slam attack, which is going to be a 15 to hit.
Misses.
So as it sort of swings its now dismembered and destroyed corpse and tries to slam against you, it just misses. And that will be its turn.
I'm going to spend my turn knocking my shield against the well.
Okay. You just continue to cling, cling, cling. And you can hear the sounds getting closer and closer. 1, 3, 7 other zombies now begin to draw closer. The zombie in front of you is going to make a wisdom saving throw. Gets a 3.
Hold that thought. That's pretty good. 30 points of radiant.
This time the ravens just almost stop, turn, and there is nothing left. Bits of guts and gore and gristle on the floor as this zombie is just ripped to shreds by the ravens, and they then just return to swarm around you. The other zombies are probably around 50 feet away from you now. You see the numbers are steadily growing. Say again?
Do I see the shaman amongst them?
Make me a perception check, please.
15.
You do. And you remember now there was one zombie that stood out before. Not a traditional shambling creature, but this floating, intelligent looking creature with a staff in hand, a withered, rotting staff.
Is he surrounded by other zombies?
Currently, yes. There is probably a good 5 zombies around him.
I will point to the sky just above him. The ravens will fly up to the point where I'm moving my hand towards, and suddenly the flapping of wings from them is going to open a space among the clouds. So I'm going to cast Dawn right above him.
Okay.
He needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Well, and all the zombies.
Indeed.
It's 30-foot radius.
Was I very quickly create an encounter on D&D Beyond there?
Yes, I was...
No, don't apologise. This is awesome.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely sorry,
So, yeah,
not sorry. Okay,
Sunlight,
so
sunlight,
it needs to make
30-foot
a
radius
wisdom
above them.
saving.
Constitution.
Wisdom saving throw,
Oh,
Constitution
all of
saving
them.
throw. Okay, this is going to capture probably the majority of the zombies that are around him. Okay, that's a 4 for the shaman.
Feels.
And I'm going to roll for all the zombies in one go. $14.
Everyone's going to take 31 points of radiant damage.
Okay. All the zombies in that area instantly just sizzle and are gone. There is nothing left but ash on the floor.
Just keep my eyes focused on
bloody
the shaman, yeah.
and frazzled is still up as I get rid of all of these. The shaman then is going to... is going to point its withered staff at you. And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
16. That was really low.
You feel your body begin to almost hold in place before you then shatter whatever bonds, magical as they are, begin to try and hold you. Your go.
As it ended the turn within the dawn,
Yes.
then it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
6.
That's a fail. Uh, 22 points of radiant damage.
As this light just shines down on it, you can see the shaman just sort of steps forward or floats forward, and then as it just burns with this ghostly black light, even in the light of dawn, just... and the body that was there just crumbles into ash. The staff just left behind and bounces on the floor. As you look around now, there are more and more zombies, and you hear now something beginning to crawl its way up out of the well. You know it's got 100 foot to climb there. What are you doing?
For the sake of brevity, I would spend the rest of the minute just moving Dawn around, eliminating as many zombies as I can, before eventually, once that minute is up, I would have recall it.
I have rolled 7 natural ones in that, and I am not lying. That dice is going away. So you literally, just like a force of nature, just this dawn just burning an ashen path through all these zombies. None of them get remotely close, as you almost just sort of spiral it around yourself. The Spirit Guardian's gone at this point because you've cast another spell.
They're both concentration, so yeah.
Yeah. So dawn is just moving around, and as then the minute passes, you think... You now hear a few zombies left, but not many. And there is almost a silence now that falls on the village. What are you doing?
There's only a few left, I'm going to hunt them.
Kirik, emboldened by his recent success, shall we say, you begin to now hunt the zombies, and this is where D&D Beyond comes in to its forte.
I'll pop a 4th level Spirit Guardians just in case.
Okay,
that
so
lasts 10 minutes.
Kill Dawn. Well, Dawn's done. Roll me another initiative for me, please.
18.
18. Cool. So it doesn't take you long before you find the first zombie. And this time you head towards the graveyard, and you can still see... Well, as you look upon the graveyard, all of the graves themselves, there are just these holes, apart from one, which stands, or rests, in the middle of the graveyard. And on that single grave grass grows. The odd flower itself is sprouted out, and there is a sense of peace within the chaos. You find this shambling corpse, and as it senses you, it just turns and makes its way towards you. It is 30 feet away from you.
Okay, I'll shoot it with a guiding bolt.
Okay.
Natural 20. Crit damage roll. That's a lot of d6s. 44 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, that one's gone. As the guiding bolt hits it, it just punches a hole, and the zombie just falls. Yeah, that ain't getting up. Okay. You then turn as a second zombie comes round the corner. It is going to move 20 feet, still about 10 feet away from you. So that's all it can do. You then notice that there are...
It's within Spirit Guardians then.
It's within Spirit Guardians, that's cool. You then notice there are 4 other zombies that are all about, I'm going to say all about 30 feet away. Which I don't know if that's all within Spirit Guardians now.
Nope.
Okay, so that first one rolls a 9.
That's a fail. $20 points of radiant.
Okay. So it is... Dare you remove a hit point that I don't want to. The ravens sort of punch and drag bits of rotting flesh and guts all away from it, but it is still there, and it's actually literally just dragging itself along the floor now. Its legs just broken. It's just reaching an arm forward and dragging itself towards you. Carry on.
If they're all within 30 feet, I will just grab onto my holy symbol and just say, guard the veil, and I'll cast Turn Undead. And if they are...
Turn Undead.
Well, wisdom saving throw first. And if they are below CR 2, they are destroyed, as opposed to turned.
That's if they fail, yeah.
Yes. Wisdom saving throw.
So wisdom saving throw. So we'll do for the first one. 9, which is a fail. Second. 17.
Meets.
Okay, so that succeeds. Third, 15 fails. And fourth one fails. So literally all but one of the zombies are destroyed. They don't take half damage or anything from Turn Undead, do they? They just literally, if they're not turned, they continue.
Yeah.
So this one continues on towards you now. As it now enters that field of Spirit Guardians, it's going to make a wisdom saving throw. Natural 20. So the ravens at this point just almost seemingly ignore it, as it, with some sort of fortitude, just slowly shambles its way towards you. Moves within range. It's going to try and make a slam attack.
Oh, sorry, it still takes half damage. What am I doing?
It does take half damage. Yeah, go for it.
24. So 12.
Okay. Barely still together, as the ravens do just sort of peck bits away from it. It's definitely bloodied, if a zombie can be bloodied. It's just like bits of dust just sort of puff out of it. It is then going to make a slam attack. It misses, so we are back round to you anyway.
I'll reach out and I will go for a kind of tap him on the shoulder and cast Inflict Wounds.
So I'm actually going to say, instead of tapping it on the shoulder, you grab it by the throat and lift it. As you then cast Inflict Wounds.
4th level. Natural 20. Same dice as well. That's going to be 12d10.
12d10. Fucking hell.
Oh, there's a lot of dens in there. That's 65 points of damage. Kerric's pissed.
What was that?
It's 12
Kerric
D10s.
literally grabs this creature and lifts it. And in sort of the name of the Raven, you just look and focus all your necrotic energy. Necrotic Radiant? It's necrotic.
Necrotic.
Necrotic, as you
necrotic.
just snap through, grab the spine, and as you grab the spine, the rest of the body just dissipates into dust. And as that was a critical hit, that zombie ain't getting up.
Mm-hmm.
And all falls silent.
I'll look around, take in a minute. I'll remember standing on this grave months ago and hearing Theogodon's voice in my head. And I'll say, some of the work complete. I'll put my hand on the kind of grass that is growing, and 2 raven wings are going to appear from my back, embrace me, and I'll cast Word of Recall.
Okay. And you are going to go
to the temple in the Malt Masters keep.
Cool. So as these raven wings spread and envelop in that moment, make me a perception check, please.
10.
Good to know. The wings close. You are gone. And the village of Greenflower stands silent. Ash, bone, guts and gore, and destruction. But silent. As you return to the temple, appear kneeling as these spectral raven wings open out and then seemingly disappear as you awake in the annex of the Raven Queen.
I'll take a moment to myself to realize what kind of just happened. I'll breathe out and I'll get up and see where the others are.
Okay. Make me a wisdom check, please.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As you step and begin to turn, there is a whisper. He is at peace. Well done, my child.
Nod. Keep walking.
Okay. And as Dargon, Ander, and Bothriad are all seemingly laughing at the breakfast table, just sort of enjoying the morning, the still slight buzz of a hangover, Kirik steps through the door, covered in ash and bits of blood.
Where fucking you go?
I'm not sure. I think I went to Dagon, Ender, do you know when you're fighting and you lose your sense of self?
Most recently, yes, I've experienced that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bothrid chimes up.
Feywild.
I know that very well.
You mean like lost your way? You mean?
Not quite that. More like the determination takes over.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I think I've just had that.
What have you done?
Welcome to the party.
I went to Greenflower.
When? How? Metaphorically.
I'll kind of look at the shield, and I'll say,
I need to fucking step back at this point.
I'll look at the shield and I'll say, there was a Dagon. I went back to beyond the Vale to the districts.
Are you bloody mad?
Maybe, but the shaman was there, and
Hang on. There is no way that we can get back safely. You kill yourself or something.
no, I stepped through.
Well,
You're one crazy motherfucker, Kirik. Hang on. You went into the Vale, fine. Last time we went into the Vale and we came back into our bodies.
I saw the shaman there, and he was trapped in between states.
Yeah, blimey, he's been there a while. Crikey.
He didn't think so. But I simply just reached, and suddenly I was in Greenflower, in the place where we saw him getting killed by Dawnbreaker, is that his name?
Dawncaller.
Dawncaller.
You fucking hypocrite. You got mad at us for going to the Seamead Lighthouse without you, and you went to Greenflower to fight a horde of zombies after I've just brought you back from the dead. How selfish can you be?
True.
I'm not gonna lie, Kirik. That's fucked up, and it's brilliant. I would ask you not to do that again. Because
Tune in tomorrow when he goes to the
need
island
you.
dead by himself.
But I mean, damn, well done. Hang on.
I'm gonna have to watch you sleep now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
that-
I was
that
gonna
sounds-
say that. Yeah, that's one hell of a trippy dream you had, Kirik. Apart from the fact that you're covered in ash and blood, you really did it, didn't you?
I think
I'm assuming you.
I'll remember kind of like the tattoo that's on my shoulder, and I'll say, I felt perhaps this is what, well, Vraco would have done, so I went in to see what will happen. I tried not to put myself too much at risk, and I knew I could come back. But I think I did it.
I was just gonna say, how did you get away?
As you're all discussing, Bothrid stands up, pushes his chair back, steps forward, and a fist just into you with a 17 on dice, which is a 25 in total. You're going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sure. I
Well said, Bothrid.
Bothrid then slams that fist onto the table. You are Idiots! Always running off, always getting into trouble, always getting dead.
You are right, Bothrid. We do need to stick together. However,
Bothrid sits down and just...
Kirik. It's kind of hard to tell you, to reprimand you for something that seems to have gone well, but that could have easily been your downfall. Vraco said that it was too much for him. You're one powerful son of a bitch with that Raven Queen behind you. If you are to survive what he couldn't.
You've definitely stole Grellin's thunder. What's he going to do now?
Are you sure that it is completely silent and good? Are they not just going to come back and haunt that place again?
Well, I remember that. I think that Theogordon was the one that brought him back.
Oh yeah, he's spoken to you already, didn't he?
He did. The ones that were there, they looked aimless somewhat. Perhaps with his death, they lost their purpose or their instruction.
So, I'd love to say that we can just go and tell them that Greenflower's alright again. But I suppose we don't know what the rest of the island's like. Do you think we can send a missive?
We'd have to check.
Yeah, get someone to have a look.
Could Azazel have a look? Or is that too far?
Bit too far, I think. It would take a while. However, we got a few more days here, Kirik. As long as you don't bloody go wandering off again and actually go check, why don't you use your magic mirror?
I could do that. I don't think I can travel for a while now. But
Good.
Don't go to Count Orfeo's house without us.
Yeah, you fucking do
be so
that.
lucky
I'll
next time.
kill you myself.
It's a big fucking house. That's a castle.
it's a big house.
I don't want to give him the
No,
house castle.
I don't think that's.
it's fucking castle.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to take my armor off and get more comfortable, I guess.
Don't make me put a bell on you, alright?
He hasn't got any more grey hairs or anything, considering he's been to the Vale and back again, has he?
Nope, just that single wisp of white. However, as he stands and starts to take his armour off, Bothrid sort of ushers him over to a corner, picks up a bucket of water and just splashes it over him, and the water is ice cold. However, having just stepped into a certain river and out of and dealt with zombies, the water is almost refreshing and almost warm. As the ash and the blood just sort of drips now in this water. Oof. I'll get a mop.
I'm not cleaning that up.
No, I'll do it. It's my mess.
Don't worry, you'll do it. Bothrid throws you the mop.
Javelins the mop at you.
No, my AC's 13.
Cool. Anything else anybody wishes to do in this particular moment now?
Can't top that, really, can we?
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, I am masking my character's complete loss for words. That was fucking brilliant.
That was awesome. To be fair, well done. Well
Did
done.
not see that coming.
In the history of curveballs on this stream, that is by far the biggest.
I mean,
So,
yeah, we'll talk about it later.
yeah, well, tune into Malt Magic and More, where we discuss what the fuck just happened.
For that. Outstanding. Oh my god.
So, for the sake of brevity, the rest of the day passes. There's some training. There's some reading. I am going to ask everybody to roll me 3d4, please.
1.
4.
1. Where the hell's the other ones? 2.
Hopefully, I'll get loads of hours read in my book. 7.
Also a 7.
9.
Okay, so Ander and Dargon, you managed to read an extra 7 hours into your books.
Sweet.
Kirik, you get an extra 9 hours. Throughout the week, there are various messages of, oh, come and have dinner with the Malt Masters. Even the crew of the Winter's Tale have you down for a meal as well, and there's a bit of socialising. Thailania and Neathim are at one of the dinners with the Malt Masters. Eventually, there are 2 messages that come from Mephisto. One to Kirik and one to Dargon. Kirik, as you enter Mephisto's, he turns to you and sort of... think I have it. Thought about it. Had a staff. Mixed some shit.
As is your way.
As is my way. I think for you this will help. Seen it before. Just had to replicate it. Staff of Healing. Think it will help. And he places this staff up on the counter. So if you're willing to trade the dust.
Indeed.
And I'm quite interested in them right now, so we will say 9,000 gold for the staff, and the dust, of course, included.
Oh, got that.
We'll say you're all together at this point as well.
Yeah, what have you got there, Kirik?
I've got 4,000.
I mean, I can always set up some sort of payment plan,
And
line of credit, those sorts of things.
This is
That
the
works.
skimpiest I've ever been.
what you got?
I have.
What, have you got like
I have still
50,000 gold?
Now I'm actually down to 5,600 now.
Boo!
I'll
I'll happily chip in
You
2,000.
want some money, do you?
Kirik.
Well, hold that thought, Dargon. Your
Oh,
item, this
Oh,
this
yeah,
orb.
yeah.
And as he takes it out, you notice that the snowy white orb is now not snowy white, but a glass orb with these brass feet. And inside the orb, it is...
Is your character from the Christmas special? Sorry,
Nice.
I couldn't not. Hello.
It is snowing.
Let me out!
Inside this orb,
Freedom, please.
there is a blizzard, and you notice there is this. Fuck you guys, seriously, fuck you all. There is
I'm
this
just happy it
bluish
wasn't me
glow
until I got it for a change.
around it. As there is a definite sense of cold around it, and as you reach out, Dargon, and touch it, it almost vibrates with the gusts that are trapped within. And Mephisto turns around to you and says, "Now this is interesting.
Yeah,
I
looks it.
think if you throw it
Yeah.
or point it, I haven't
Right.
quite figured out which yet, you can potentially cause a blizzard, which in summer would be a fantastic thing to do, but yeah, I think it's gonna create a lot of ice, a lot of snow, probably deter some foes, so if you are willing to part with it, I will call Kirik's staff and even 2,000.
What do we think, guys?
I thought that was going to be an even swap.
Do we Do we want a
One has to make a profit.
Do we want a pocket blizzard?
Not if we're going north.
Could keep
This
it.
this perhaps is well, might change your opinion. What if you could tell us what the staff does? Just
The
so
staff?
we know.
Yes, sorry. Bad businessman on my part. The staff is, well, it's a staff of healing. It heals. You asked for something that will enable you to... Yes, okay, dickhead. No need for sarcasm. I'm getting there. If you hadn't figured out what I know, I am one for suspense. So, there's... Well, it holds certain magical ability, and you can cast certain spells. What I have done is I have fitted it with the ability to, depending on the spell, cast so many spells per day. So there's spells that will heal up wounds. There's one that will cure minor illnesses, minor diseases, those sorts of things, and then there's, well, I packed it with one that will probably only use it twice per day, but that will heal the group, heal up those wounds. So, yeah, and it should hopefully regain that power every day. But if not, it might disappear.
Okay.
Well, that seems like then that it should only cost $1,000 with the orb.
This took a lot of magic and a lot of
Which
skill
might
to
not work.
imbue. So if you... No. What I'm saying is if you use all the magic, it might go poof.
I'm
These
I'm
things
on
happen.
£1,000 worth of poof.
I'm honestly happy to chip in, Kirit. We can take both.
Sorry, I'm going to say, Ander, make me a persuasion check with disadvantage, please.
Happily.
Go on.
I'll use a lucky point.
Can't roll less than 21 as well,
Neutral
probably.
persuasion.
I can't roll lower than a 10, can I? So that's 21.
Oh shit!
Anders
Mephisto is there looking at this point and is just there like, give me the orb, give me the dust, we'll call it 1,000 gold.
I will give him 1,000 gold.
We have a deal.
You, sir, are bad for business. Get out.
I've single-handedly paid your rent yesterday.
Get
My
out.
purchases.
Get out.
I shall go. Smugly.
So you now have this nice shiny staff of healing, but what you notice is that where the staff of healing you may have heard from the past almost is made like a totem pole, or a miniature totem pole made up of multiple figures. This one is actually a straight black ebony wooden staff, and etched around it are raven's wings. As
Well, that's
Mephisto
probably
looks
worth
at
a bit
you,
more than 1,000, isn't it? Oh, we've
thought you might appreciate the personalisation.
I do, thank you.
So the dust and the orb, and if you're finished robbing me, we shall call it a day.
Very kind, Mephisto. Toodle pip.
Okay. Thank you very much. On you go.
Oh,
I'm outside waiting for you.
just before I go, I'll pay you for some healing potions if you got any.
Yes. Small shipment. There are 2
It'll do.
standard, 1 greater.
Lovely. How much?
Please, I'll call it.
Do 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 do.
Your call is important to us.
Please hold. One of the Archmages will be with you very shortly.
We will call
Thing is,
that.
now we've got so many healing things. Matt's just going to. I'm just going to double down on the monsters now.
Yeah, it is.
400 gold pieces, please, sir.
Cheers. Here you go. That'll sweeten the pot. Good evening.
Thank you very much.
I'll pop out, head out, pop them in my bag. What, how many did you say? That was 2 regular?
2 potions of healing, 1 potion of greater.
1 greater. Yeah, cool.
Stuff of healing, right?
Staff of healing, yes. It is a blue item, which means it is rare. There are 10 charges. And then you get a 1d4 reset daily. But the biggest spell that you can cast with that costs 5 charges.
Ooh.
Sounds fair.
But it also means that Kirik can now be a damage dealer. All the time.
Unless he gets the stick wrong and he hits them and automatically heals them at the same time.
I'm so making that a mechanic. Rather than natural one to hit with the stick, accidentally cast Cure Wound. Good stuff. Okay. On that note, anything else anybody wishes to do right now?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so either. So I think for today, and with the build up towards next week, we will call that a night. So the shit I did have planned for tonight, in true Dungeons and Dragons even style, straight out the window. But I have absolutely loved tonight. Hopefully everyone watching has enjoyed the massive curveballs, certain one huge colossal curveball that came at me there. Love it. Perfect character development, perfect bit of in fact, the fact that goes back to episode 1 we'll discuss on Malt Magic and more, but truly a more epic moment could not have happened for our penultimate episode towards our anniversary. So with that, thank you all for joining us. Thank you to my awesome players. You've seen how awesome they all are tonight and continue to be more and more awesome every week. Could not ask for a better set of players. You are all amazing. Love you all. Thank you to all the viewers, all the followers. As I say, next week there will be some giveaways. There will be some prizes to be won. So please follow. Please interact with the chat. I know we are not as active as we could be in the chat, but we will try and do that more and more just to interact with you more, just so you know that we are listening. We are hearing what you're saying. If you do want to get in touch with us, then please go either use the website, go use social media. Please go check out all the past episodes on YouTube. Go check out all the past episodes on the podcast as well if you'd rather listen to us. Follow the social media. We'll make more announcements towards those giveaways, probably towards the beginning of next week. Thank you to all the tools we've used. D&D Beyond's come straight into its forte tonight with those quick encounter builds. Sorry we didn't have a map. I did not have a quick map that we could have used. Maybe I could have, but yeah, it doesn't matter. We got through it. And I suppose all that's left for me to say is this has been episode 51. Join us next week for our anniversary, which hopefully will be a lot of fun. There is a lot to come, and we have a name for the group now. So with that, I hope you've all enjoyed it. We've had a lot of fun. Love you all, as always. Stay safe. We've been the Malt Magic crew. We will see you next week, Monday, 7:30 PM. Good night.